Hi, let's talk today about simplifying these unpleasant fractions or ratios like 210 out of 252. Sometimes trying to find the greatest common factor to divide by is impossible. And sometimes simplifying them piece by piece would be really, really unpleasant. I could simply start trying to divide by 2, but that would take forever. And so there's got to be a better way, right? And there is. We can find the prime factor string of these numbers and list them out like this. Here, I've done it for 252. We did this in the previous video. And as a little reminder, let's just try again, a little review here. We'll try it for 210. So 210, an even number, I'll divide it by 2. And I can see that half of 210 is 105. 105, even though I can see that 1 plus 0 plus 5, if I add the digits, is 6, and 6 can be divided by 3. That means that 105 can be divided by 3. I'm going to divide by 5. Why? Just to show you that it doesn't really matter that you go in order. I usually encourage people to start with the smallest prime numbers and then go try the next biggest one, which is 3. But this one will just go out of order, right? So 5 is a prime number. 21 can be divided by 3 times 7, 3 or 7, and those are both primes. So the prime factor string for 210, and now I'll put them in order, is 2 times 3 times 5 times 7. Okay, so there we go. We have our prime factor string. Now here's the thing that's important about this, and this is important for lots of things, up into algebra. It's not just simplifying fractions here, so let's try and pay attention to this. Factors of 210 are 2, oops, I didn't mean to do that, right? 2 is a factor of 210. I can divide it by 2. 3 is also a factor of 210. 210, you should be able to tell, that can be divided by 3. Oh, I see, it goes into the 21, right? The 7 would go there. So we can divide that by 3. But the funny thing is, this is also a factor of 210. 2 times 3. 6 is a factor of 210, right? 3 times 6 is 18, and I would have 0, I'd have 30 left over. 6 goes into 35 times. 35 times 6 is 210. And we could also say that any other combination of factors up here is a factor of 210. Check it out. 3 times 5, that's 15. 15 is also a factor of 210, right? 1 times 15, I can subtract this, and I'm going to get 60. 15 goes into 60 4 times. 15 times 14. So I could divide this number by 15, right? What else is a factor of 210? Well, you could see any other combination. 5 times 7, 35 is a factor of 210. I could divide it by 35 if I wanted to. I don't really want to, though, right? What I really want to do is find, right, what's the greatest factor that I can divide the top and the bottom by. So what I'm going to do is I am going to look for any common factors on the top and the bottom, and I can see right here 7 is a common factor and 3 is a common factor. Oh wait, and there's a 2. Right? Sometimes I call them twins. If there's a factor on the top and the bottom that are the same, they're a common factor. You can divide them both out. Okay, so let's see what that looks like. I am going to divide the top and the bottom of this number by 7. Right? 7 divided by 7 leaves me with 1. 7 divided by 7 leaves me with 1. The other common numbers, there is a 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So I divided the top and the bottom by 7, then I divided the top and the bottom by 3. And now I'm going to come and I'm going to divide the top and the bottom by 2. Divide the top by 2, divide the bottom by 2. And these essentially go away because look, I've got 1 times 1 times 5 times 1 is essentially just 5. And on the bottom I have 1 times 2 times 1 times 3 times 1, which is essentially just 2 times 3. Right? That's 6. Those are the factors that are left over. And what that means is that I have just expressed 210 out of 252 in its simplest form. I took out, I'll change colors here, we can see this, I took out all the common factors. Sometimes we just call that canceling. They really turn into ones, but since 1 doesn't change the identity of the multiplication problem, having 1 times 1 times 1 in there doesn't change anything. And what's left over is factor of 5 on the top and 2 times 3 on the bottom. That's what I would get if I took 210 out of 252, and I could tell you that the greatest common factor was, remember our pairs, 7, 3, and 2. If I could tell you that the greatest common factor was 42, I could do this. And I would get 5, and I would get 6. But I would never in a million years know that the greatest common factor of those numbers was 42, unless I used canceling. Okay? Canceling. Give it a shot. All right, good luck, everyone.